Let's look at the Chromium browser source code today. So we're in Chromium code search, which I assume works a little bit like Google's internal code search, but is the open source version. Looks like code search. All right. So first, I just want to get a lay of the land. Here are the files, I guess. Files and directories. Android Web View gets its own folder. That's, I guess, not so surprising. Apps. Ash, I don't know what Ash is. Base, I assume, is the foundation's. CC must have something to do with the compiler. Let's see what it is. Hey, we get a README. Okay, so contains a compositor used in the renderer and in the browser. In the renderer, Blink is the client. In the browser, both UI and Android browser compositor are the clients. I don't really know what this means. So we've got a compositor, which I think composes scenes. And I guess the scene composer is used both by the renderer and in the browser. But doesn't the browser use the renderer? So in the renderer, Blink is the client. In the browser, both UI, lowercase, and Android browser, compositor, are the clients. So Android browser compositor is a client to this compositor. Okay, when layers are updated, the request, the public API of the compositor is layer tree host, and layer and its derived types. Embedders create a layer tree host, either single, multi-threaded, or synchronous, and then attach a tree of layers to it. The commit is from the main thread layer tree to the pending tree in multi-threaded mode. The commit is from the main thread layer tree. What is a commit though? Okay, a block during this commit. Oh, wait, hang on, I missed something. Okay, yeah, when layers are updated, they request a commit, which takes the structure of the tree of layers, the data on each layer, and the data of its host, and automatically pushes it all to a tree of layer implementations, and a layer tree host implementation in layer tree implementation. The main thread, which owns the tree of layers and the embedder, is blocked during this commit operation. So I don't really know what all that means, but I guess it has some sort of, it's got some sort of tree, a tree of layers. What does it mean to be a tree? I guess like in a drawing app, you have layers, but they're kind of on a stack. Or at least maybe on fancier drawing apps, they're not. But in a tree of layers, I guess layers can branch off. One node can contain another node, and that node has like layers underneath it. And they are, I guess, composed, hence the compositor. And what happens? Okay, and so when they're updated, they need to request a commit. They request a commit, which I guess means let's block everything to prevent updates mainly, and also maybe to prevent inconsistent reads, and take a commit. I assume is kind of like a snapshot during the commit. Okay, so let's assume that that's true. And the commit is from the main thread layer tree to the pending tree in multi-threaded mode. Okay. So is this kind of like double buffering where we have a main thread? Yeah, main thread tree. Okay, so we've got a main thread and a pending, some sort of pending tree. And do we swap them atomically like in, what is it, double buffering? The pending tree is a staging tree for rasterization, okay? When enough rasterization is completed for invalidations, I assume invalid, like marking the current tree as invalid, like the tree that the viewers are currently looking at. When enough rasterization is completed for invalidations, the pending tree is ready to activate. Activate is an analogous operation to commit and pushes data from the pending tree to the active tree. So I guess the pending tree is kind of a staging mode. And data is pushed from it to the active tree. The pending tree exists so that all the updates from the main thread can be displayed to the user atomically. Okay, yeah. So it's maybe a little bit like double buffering, but it sounds kind of, instead of like switching the trees atomically, there's like an atomic refresh operation or something where the main tree gets updated all at once. The single thread compositor commits directly to the active tree and then stops drawing until the content is ready to be drawn. The active tree is responsible for drawing. The scheduler and its scheduler state machine decide when to draw, along with when to commit, etc. So the scheduler and the scheduler state machine make these decisions. Drawing in a compositor consists of layer implement append quads, which batches up a set of draw quads and render passes into a compositor frame, which is send. Okay. Other docs, how CC works. The CC used to be called the Chrome compositor. It's also not a compositor, okay. The content collator is an alternative name. Okay. Data flow. I don't know what Blink is, but okay. So CC somehow overlaps with Blink and Viz. Paint, commit, raster, activate, submit, aggregate. I mean, this seems like good documentation. Commit flow. Main thread, request an animation frame. We've got the main thread and the compositor thread. Main thread requests something, set needs animate to something on the compositor thread. Begin implementation frame, send begin main frame, blink lifecycle, notify ready to commit, scheduled action commit. Main thread is blocked. Okay, so it seems like, judging from the name, maybe Blink is something that that handles things where that handles the updating, and it tries to do it quickly. Does Blink get its own directory? I don't know. Build CC. So somewhere in CC's Blink should be called. Maybe we can look at the build file. Build.gn. I don't know what this is. Does Chromium have its own build tool? This doesn't necessarily look like Blaze. So let's see. Am I looking for a Blink? How about initialize Blink features? The Blink runtime. So what if we just do a search for Chromium? Okay, so Blink is the rendering engine used by Chromium. Source third-party Blink. Okay. The browser engine is located in source to the Blink page on chromium.org. Okay. So this is chromium.google source. This is source.chromium.org. I'm not sure how these two sites differ. Okay, so Blink, I mean, maybe I want to look at Blink, but let's explore this a little bit more. Okay, so CC is the compositor thingy. Extensions, Courgette. Is that related to corgis? Courgette. I don't see a disassembler. Okay, Courgette tool.cc. Yay. I don't know what this does. I think Courgette. Smaller is faster and safer too. We have a new differential compression algorithm, making Google Chrome updates significantly smaller. So I assume this means software updates. We want smaller updates because it narrows the window of vulnerability. If the update is 1/10 of the size, we can push 10 times as many per unit of bandwidth. What does it have to do with vulnerability? That seems more like just size. We have enough users that this means more users will be protected earlier. I see. A second benefit is that a smaller update will work better for users who don't have great connectivity. Rather than push a whole new 10 megabyte update, we send out a diff that takes the previous version of Google Chrome and generates the new version. We tried several binary diff algorithms and have been using BSDiff up until now. Cool. Okay, so let's go back. So Courgette is the binary diff algorithm. Crypto looks what you would expect: AED, elliptic curve, Hmax. Okay. Unexportable key. What makes it unexportable? In C? I guess you just can't programmatically export it. Oh, it provides a hardware-backed signing oracle and platforms that support it. Okay. So Windows, we get RSA SHA-256 and ECDSA SHA-256 via TPM. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so let's see. We were looking at the Chromium source code. So crypto looks good. How do I get out of crypto? I don't want to be here anymore. All right. So dbus. Okay. Fuchsia web extensions, docs, device. I assume device is for. Oh, okay. Bluetooth. FIDO. I assume FIDO is the, by FIDO it means the 2FA standard. Gamepad, I guess, is like a game controller. VR, UDEV, Mojo. What is Mojo? Oh, we get a README. Okay, Android and Mojo and services. Oh, we can also look at this diagram. Well, it doesn't tell us much. A minimum amount of information needed to get started, blah, 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 Mojo. A message pipe is a pair of endpoints. But what does it do? A brief overview of the content layer's core services for introductory guides. Okay. Run math service. I guess this is a way of doing like remote procedure calls. Okay, so a message pipe is a pair of endpoints. Each has a queue of incoming messages, and writing a message to one endpoint effectively. Message pipes are bidirectional. A Mojom file describes interfaces, which are strongly typed collections of messages. Are these just protobufs? Oh, okay. Roughly analogous to a single proto message. I wonder if why can't they just use protobufs? I assume protobufs are too heavyweight to be used. Is this for different processes? In the browser process, what about thread? So register main thread services. This is just C++. Okay. All right, cool. Network traffic annotations. I guess that's not so surprising. So we have some annotations, unique ID, source, semantics, sender, descriptor, trigger. I guess this what user action triggered the network request. So this is, I guess, for quality of service. Like, your video game traffic is probably higher priority than what? I don't know. Your email. All right, SQL. Let's see, database.h. SQL database. Is this just like a SQLite? Yeah, SQLite, okay. The code's definitely readable. I mean, Google code tends to be really readable. The documentation, I think, is easier to navigate than Firefox's was, but that's not unexpected. All right, I'm going to try increasing the volume more. Actually, I'm not sure if so let's try this. So I'm going to try I'm being told that it's still too quiet. So let's try really increasing the makeup gain. So is this any louder? Okay. Well, I've basically maxed out my my compressor, so I'm guessing that maybe my mic volume is just too far down. But I guess this should do for now. Okay. Okay, Skia, I'm not sure what this is, but I think it has something to do with drawing. I've seen Skia before somewhere. I can also try turning up the mic. Let me try this. That should probably have a more dramatic effect. So it's a 2D graphic library. I guess this is for like, what's the word? Is this like a HTML canvas sort of thing? Maybe HTML canvas looks consistent with that theory. Okay. So GPU, media, I don't know what media is. Audio, base, capabilities, device monitors, formats. Cool. IPC, but I thought Mojo was doing IPC. Mojo M, okay. interface channel, set PRID. So copyright 2016. Why not protobuf? Why a new thing? Okay. There are a number. This should be a. I would commit. I don't think I can. I don't think I have a. There's a typo, but I don't think I can do anything about it right now. There are a number of potentially decent answers to this question, but the deal breaker is that a useful IPC mechanism must support transfer of native object handlers, that is, file descriptors, for example, fired across process boundaries. Other non-new IPC things that do this capability, e.g. dbus, have their own substantial deficiencies. Okay. So, okay, I'm being told that the volume is now at least in the ballpark of what users expect. Okay, so I see. So it transfers around resources like file handles. I don't know why that means that the description language has to be different, but I believe that it does. So we'll just take their word for that, because I assume you need to describe various details about how that handling takes place. Sandbox, style guide. Okay, they have their own style guide for the project. That makes sense. UI, okay. Android, Aura. So this is interesting. So Android, okay. So Android's web view is based on Chromium, I think, and there's also a Chromium browser for Android. I'm not sure which one this is. Compositor, extra events, file manager. I'm curious to see, just like when I was looking at the Firefox code base, I'm also curious to see, here's V8, their JavaScript engine. That's a thing that people know about. This must be written in C, right? Source. Let's take a look at that. API, AST. I assume this is the abstract syntax tree. You have a big int, code generation, compiler. D8. What is D8? I don't know. Okay. So I'm curious where views. Let's see if they have their reader view on here. Layout, test, touch, UI, widget, win, examples. Is it under accessibility? Reader view seems like it's something that's somewhat about accessibility, but not entirely. They have a mix here of like some of the folders are like code names like Lottie, and some have very descriptive names like native theme and Qt and snapshot. Okay, so let's see if close reader view. What does Chromium even call it? Reader mode. UI views reader mode. Okay. Sounds good. Reader mode icon, reader mode icon, reader mode icon. I don't want the icon. V8 readable stream reader mode. this relevant? This is automatically generated file. Let's see, do I have Chromium installed? Okay, so what's something? I just want to see what their reader mode is called. They have one, right? Is it this? Show side panel. What about Wikipedia? Okay, so, maybe they don't. Hidden reader mode. Is this a real thing? Does this still exist, and is it still hidden? Enable reader mode. Enabled. Okay. Now I have to relaunch. Let's go back to Wikipedia. It seems like Wikipedia should have a reader mode. Do I get like a random article? How about an article? Something about browser. Okay, I've enabled it, but where is it? So it says this website has one. Here we go. Okay. Exit reader mode. So can I see the source code here? Developer tools. Okay, sources. All right. I don't know why I wanted sources. I think I just wanted to be able to see I think I just wanted to be able to see like what was, if there were any elements that I could look at. Okay, so reader mode has a flag. What was that flag? Here we go. Enable reader mode. So what if I just look for the string? Enable reader mode. Okay. If m pending push operation and null is, so if there's no pending push operation and pending make reader only operation is null and m watch ID, so what is watch ID? Size is 0, then we return. Do not enable reader mode if there's no active push watch operations. Okay. M reader callback handler, new reader callback handler, enable reader mode. Okay. So activity, this actually looks a lot like, this is Android. Okay. No, I don't want to look in an Android file. I want flag descriptions. Here we go. Enable reader mode. Okay. That's cool, but let's look at this symbol. So flag descriptions about flags. But shouldn't there be somewhere in the code where they use the flag? Enable reader mode. If build flag is Android. Maybe I need to look up this string symbol. Enable dash reader dash mode. Okay, accessibility. It is in accessibility. Okay. The flag never expires. That's cool. Dom Distiller. Is it Dom Distiller? I bet it is. That sounds promising. Base feature is reader mode. Feature disabled by default. Whether the reader mode option should be shown in distillable pages. Okay. Is it enabled? Offer reader mode in settings. Show mode. Okay, this is starting to be what I wanted to look at. Okay, so there's a DOM distiller service. What is it? What's its API? Default page. Request to view an article by URL. Use create default distiller page to create a default distiller page. The provided distiller pages only used if there's not already a distillation task in progress for the given URL. Okay. Has task tracker for testing. Create task tracker. So it's got a task tracker. That seems a little bit involved. I guess it seems like maybe reader mode is harder than people might suspect. Okay, so you've got a task tracker. I assume this task tracks work. I think a girl is a Google URL. Manages the various tasks related to viewing, saving, distilling, and fetching an article's distilled contents. There are two sources of distilled content, a distiller and the blob fetcher. Okay, I think I'll have to come back and dig into these implementations later. So I will stop there.